Did you come here for crafting certification?
I have a fine selection to choose from.
Excellent. I know we'll all be drawing blades together soon enough. Now, what can I tell you? Right. Our new guildmaster is an Argonian, sees all colors. She has us all hunting down the Daedra and their damned anchors. You might have seen them. Enormous chains, plagues of Daedra boil out to lay waste to the countryside. Hard fights. Ha! There's a good question. We train our members in special techniques, and the higher-ups are always looking for motivated members to help with special projects. You never know, you might be the next Yofnir. Guildmaster Yofnir passed away recently, very suddenly. I always thought he'd die with a blade in his hand. But he passed away in his sleep, called to Sovngarde by his ancestors. We all miss him, but Colors has proven to be a very able leader. No, we only draw blades in service to the Guild. We're technically neutral in the war between the three alliances. We love the Eagle Banner and Her Majesty, of course, but every race, every creed belongs under the Guild Hall's roof. Excellent. Right. Our new guildmaster is an Argonian, sees all colors. Ha! Then let me be the first to officially welcome you as an associate of the Fighters Guild. Get out there and take the fight to the Daedra.
You here for crafting certification? Don't worry, there's no cost involved. Your alliance covers all my fees. Once you're certified, they'll let you fulfill the crafting writs. Everyone wins. They're daily requests for crafted goods, but they're only available to certified crafters. If you can show me you know your craft, I'll get you certified. I can train and certify blacksmiths, clothiers, and woodworkers. If that sounds like something you'd want, we can get started. Of course. What do you want to know? Anything with metal in it, and I don't mean horseshoes and calipers. The crafting writs are for weapons and heavy armor, so that's what I teach. Bows, shields, and magical staves. Staffs? No, it's staves. I always forget how to say that. Cloth and leather goods. The crafting writs want pieces of light cloth armor or medium leather armor, so that's what I certify. Excellent! We can get started whenever you're ready. Let me know if you have some time. I can train and certify you in something else. Prove you know your way around a forge and I'll certify you. But you have to commit. I can only train one discipline at a time. I want you to craft a simple iron ingots. You'll use those ingots to make the dagger. Yes, you have to prove you know your way around a blacksmithing station. Those are the rules. For now, bring me an armload of iron ore. Once you're back, you'll refine them into iron ingots. Bring the iron ore to a blacksmithing station. If you have enough, you can refine them into iron ingots. Really put your back into it. When you have iron ingots, return to me. Go to the blacksmithing station and craft an iron dagger. Nothing fancy. You shouldn't need more than 2 iron ingots. Oh, and you'll need a style material. You can purchase them from any blacksmith, or scavenge them yourself if you're thrifty.
There's an urgent task for you.
Craft an iron dagger. You'll need some iron ingots and a style material. You can buy those from any blacksmith if you can't find them yourself. The trick is the style material, but I'm sure you know that. Next is deconstruction. You learn a lot when you break something into parts, even more so when it's someone else's work. Go deconstruct your dagger, or anything else really, as long as you do it at a blacksmithing station. You'll regain some components, of course, but the real trick is to deconstruct another crafter's work. You can learn far more by disassembling someone else's material than your own. It's a fancy way to say take something apart. The term originally came from Altmer poetry critiques. High elves consider their physical crafts to be forms of poetry, so it stuck. You can't know what a sword is, only what it's not, and so forth. You certainly know your way around a forge. You're a blacksmith, and let none tell you otherwise. Of course, I'll get you certified right away so you can fulfill blacksmith crafting writs immediately. Let me know if you have some time. I can train and certify you in something else. A good woodworker sees the final product before cutting the first block of wood. But I can't teach 2 crafts at once. If you commit yourself to the training, I'll certify you. I want to know if you can craft a maple bow. First, go harvest some rough maple. You'll refine it into sanded maple at a woodworking station. Last, you'll take the sanded maple and turn it into a maple bow. Absolutely! Bows are challenging to craft. Show me you're up to the challenge and I'll happily certify you. But first, go get me a bundle of rough maple. There's a place nearby which should have what you need. Collect an armload and return here. If there's not enough, you'll need to search for more. Look for rough maple in forested areas. Sometimes you'll see logs washed up on beaches. You should avoid cutting a rough maple log with a wasp nest inside. It's rather unpleasant. So are the lotions you'll need for the stings. Bring the rough maple to a woodworking station. As long as you have enough, you can refine it into sanded maple. Return to me when you've done that, and we'll talk about crafting a maple bow. If you're in a guild, check the guild stores. They often have raw materials and refined goods for sale. Of course, you can always trade with a friend.
Working with wood isn't quite the same as working with stone or metal, but hey, it's a living.
Bring some rough maple to a woodworking station and refine it into sanded maple. It's easy work. I prefer to work with maple. It's reliable, plentiful, rarely full of wasps. Craft a maple bow at a woodworking station. You'll need sanded maple, also a style material. Scavenge them yourself or buy a style material from a carpenter. Every race has a traditional material they work into their weapons and armor. For example, the Imperial style material is nickel. I should know. Every day in the Legion camps, I worked a pile of it. You can learn how to craft with another race's style material by studying racial motif books. They're quite rare, mostly held by collectors, so watch for them in your travels. The Redguard style material is star metal. Try working with that. Craft a maple bow. A good bow will get you far in life. Making good bows will get you farther. Excellent! Now we can talk about deconstruction. You grow as a woodworker when you disassemble your own creations, even more so with someone else's work. Head to a woodworking station and deconstruct your bow, or any other crafted wood. I've seen everything I need to see. You're a fine woodworker with a steady hand. Certainly. You're more than qualified to fulfill woodworking crafting writs. I'll certify you immediately. There's only one more certification I can provide. If you need training, I have time. If you convince me you know how to use a needle and thread, I'll certify you. However, you must commit. I can't certify two things at once. Show me you can craft a pair of homespun gloves. First, you'll collect some raw jute, Then return here and refine it. Finally, you'll use refined jute to make the gloves. Of course. It was the first trade I studied. I'm happy to certify anyone familiar with a clothing station. Now run forth and bring me a pile of raw jute. Take the raw jute to a clothing station. If you have enough, you can easily refine it. Bring the refined jute to me when you're done, and then you'll make some homespun gloves. Raw jute is plentiful if you know where to look. Just don't chew on it. It can really do a number on your... Well, just don't chew on it. Take the raw jute to a clothing station. If you have enough, you can easily refine it. Bring the refined jute to me when you're done, and then you'll make some homespun gloves. If you're in a guild, check the guild stores. They often have raw materials and refined goods for sale. Of course, you can always trade with a friend.
My worship.
Making your own clothing. There's nothing quite like it. The feeling of accomplishment, the attention to detail, the quality. Unless you're all thumbs, then I suggest you find a good tailor.
I feel so renewed. Vivek City is truly amazing.
Lady of Mercy, forgive us. Forgive me, I should have said something. I should have warned them. Oh, do not look upon me, stranger, for I am surely cursed. Greed blinded me, and innocent lives have suffered. Yet I was spared. Perhaps this unending guilt is meant to be my punishment. We found a relic deep in the Ashlands near Kogo Rune and sold it to a temple historian here in Vivek. Now he lies dead and his young assistant is on the run, wanted for murder. Oh, such a sweet girl. What if the relic made her do that? It's just a feeling. That relic had a draw to it. Like it wanted me to bring it here. It sounds crazy, but her brother sought me out. He seemed convinced it was the cause, and where it came from was key to where she was heading. The Ashlands are dangerous, but around Kogo Rune, there's something off. Don't find yourself cursed as well. His name was Tithus, an ordinator, real intense. but I could tell it was concern for his sister, Nevina. She was young, enthusiastic, honored to be at the temple. Poor girl. If you find them, I hope you undo the harm I've caused. It was an ugly thing. Sinister, even, but I knew the temple would be interested. There aren't many pieces that survived that dark time, and they wouldn't want something like that circulating around. I swear I thought it would be safe with them. It was the home of a great house that fell into ruin. Red Mountain has buried most of it, but the bones are there if you know what to look for. To be honest, I just sort of stumbled on the statue in the wasteland. Lucky find, I thought.
Out this far. You another relic hunter? The last find didn't cause enough harm? Needed another go? What happened with her mentor? With me? That wasn't Nevina. I came out here to prove her innocence. That might not be possible now. This is where I caught up to Nevina. I begged her to come back, swore I'd make this all right. But I couldn't. She felt so heavy in my arms. The only thing she said, she whispered, "Kill me." I should have listened. Before I knew, my Nevina was gone. Something changed in her eyes. Made my blood run cold. I never even saw the knife. Managed to stop the bleeding. I'm not going anywhere soon. I've lost her. Maybe for good. Be wary. I saw shapes in the ash. Robed figures. That's not the blood loss talking. I don't think. Did you find Nevina? Where? That's her diary. She's been carrying it around for weeks. Never left her side. She's gone, isn't she? That wasn't Nevina. She died here. You fulfilled her last wishes. I don't know that I could have done it, even without the gut wound. Thank you for bringing her peace. When I'm able to fight, I'll find the truth. I won't let what happened to her happen to anyone else. This will be a painful journey, but thank you for sharing this with me. Did they offer any truth in this madness? Any glimpse of reason? Bloodline? You don't mean... That's impossible. That fallen, disgraced house. That is not who she was. That is not who I am. It can't be. It was some spell the statue held over her. A curse or enchantment placed by these heretics. I hope you're wrong. The truth's too ugly. If these cultists entrapped my sister, who else will they come for? I need to see for myself, but I'm afraid it might be wiser to turn back. Face a truth that could destroy me, or wait for it to find me too. Oh, it's a lot to take in. 3 watch over me. I hope I see you again, friend.
I carry only the necessities, Outlander. Take a look. I must be ready to move at a moment's notice, so I always make sure to travel light. What little I do have is yours to buy.
How can I help you?
What is it?
May this one.
I can't believe they want us to go outside the house to find Vaya.
You look like you could use a drink.
Mills, please, if you just listen.
Take care of yourself, Father. You always were good at that.
I'm in need of a strong set of legs, Traveler, and you look like one capable of protecting yourself. Will you aid an old Mer in one last task? I have an obligation to my family. No, a duty of utmost importance. But I have grown too feeble to fulfill it. If you would take this memory stone to the few places of significance in my life, I will pay you well. It allows one to archive memories for future generations. I hope to do this for my children, who have grown estranged. Invoke my stone at the locations I've marked on your map, and the memories I wish to archive will manifest. I thank you for your aid. Fewer than ever are willing to aid their elders in these troubled times. Now I suppose the distance with my children is my fault, not theirs. It is a rare gem. Once, long ago, Redguard warriors carried them into battle. One of the most famous was a sword singer in the First Age, Makeleleki. No historians will cherish my thoughts, certainly, but perhaps my children will come to in time. I purchased it from my master, Drenham, a Telvanni mage of middling repute. I have served him for how long? Many, many years. For as long as I can remember. I will serve him until I die, no doubt. But that will not be long now. Ah, yes. Mills. My son has never really forgiven me for never being here for them. He's a stranger in my own home. No. If anything, it's the other way around. Even Neria has grown accustomed to my absence. Neria less than Mills, but both my children grew up largely on their own. My duties to Master Drenham consumed a great deal of my time. Mills especially grew up with Neria and no one else. He despises me, and I don't blame him. You'll know soon enough. As will they, I hope. I failed them. I cannot travel with you. But I have attuned this stone to my soul. When you use it at the locations I've marked, it will summon echoes of things that once occurred there. The stone absorbs these echoes, allowing others to view them.
Do you make a habit of randomly accosting people while they fish? I don't see how that's any of your business. I've nothing to say to my father or those his Telvanni master employs. Whatever this is about, it's no concern of mine. My father managed to leave me out of his life. He can leave me out of his problems, too. You want to talk? My sister Neria works the stables. She tolerates my father's business better than I do.
You know, I was born and raised in East March. Moved to Vardenfell after the formation of the Pact. But as soon as I raise enough gold, I'm heading for Orsinium. An entire city of orcs, can you imagine?
The guild has need of you, comrade. My, you look like a well-traveled individual. If you're looking to give your mount a well-deserved rest, you've come to the right place. We know how to pamper a loyal guar in Balmoral. My father? Oh no, has he taken a fall? Or did he ask you to do something for him? He's been declining of late, and I'm afraid he's not entirely in his right mind. Oh, Mills. He was so young when Mother passed. I've tried to explain that Father had to work to keep a roof over our heads, but it's been difficult. I raised Mills myself while Father was away, which was often. He's never forgiven Father for that. Oh, yes. Father is well regarded among the Telvanni masters, even though he's never aspired to be one himself. Master Drenim trusts him implicitly, and if you know anything about the Telvanni, that's impressive on its own. They don't trust easily. I'm afraid I don't know. All he's been able to tell me is that part of his contract with Master Drenim forbids him from disclosing any of the Master's business, even to his own children. Whatever he's doing, I'm certain it's important. Oh, yes. Father is well regarded among the Telvanni masters, even though he's never aspired to be one himself. Master Drenim trusts him implicitly, and if you know anything about the Telvanni, that's impressive on its own. They don't trust easily. I'm afraid I don't know. All he's been able to tell me is that part of his contract with Master Drenim forbids him from disclosing any of the Master's business, even to his own children. Whatever he's doing, I'm certain it's important. I wish he didn't have to work so much. Master Drenim pays well, but sometimes I worry he will work Father to death. He's just so tired all the time. Even when he finds time away, Mills refuses to see him, and I know that hurts him dearly. I did for a bit, after Mother died. I didn't understand why Father couldn't be with us until I grew up and learned how hard it is to keep a family housed and fed. Now I appreciate all Father's sacrifices for us. I just wish Mills could see it.
You there, Outlander. I have a proposition for you.
Look! A Dwemer gear. It's in remarkably good condition.
Yes, wonderful. I'll mark it down.
And here, another. Could these have fallen off the ruins?
Yes, that is peculiar.
Is something the matter, dear? You seem distracted today.
Oh, nothing's the matter. I'm nervous.
Whatever for. If anything attacks us, I'll protect you.
I'm not nervous about an attack, Bravura. It's just... well... there's no good way to say this.
To say what?
Marry me?
Are you serious?
That's... not the response I hoped for.
Ghilan, of course I'll marry you. I love you. I just expected something more dramatic.
Well, I planned to propose at the falls, but today we didn't go to the falls. I had to improvise.
And this is why you've been so nervous.
Yes. Wait. Did you just agree to marry me?
Yes, Ghilan. 12 times yes. My dear, distracted, adorable archivist, I will marry you.
That's wonderful!
Isn't it?
Oh, Bravura, you won't regret this. You are the stars to my sky.
Did you just come up with that?
Well, no. I've been saving it for the right time.
fascinating. I wonder how long it's lain undisturbed.
It could be years, decades even.
I'd hoped to find more Dwemer relics, but I suppose the view is inspiring.
It certainly is.
Flatterer. You can see this view anywhere now, can't you?
And yet I never grow tired of looking.
Speaking of looking, we should start viewing larger homes.
What's wrong with our current home?
It's rather small, isn't it?
It's cozy. Just enough room for you and me.
And you don't see how that could become a problem?
No?
Well, you've done a lot more than look since we married, dear.
At houses? Wait. Bravura?
Yes.
You're pregnant?
That happens when one enjoys the view, doesn't it?
That's wonderful! I'm going to be a father!
Yes, dear. Yes, you are.
We need a new house, with a real kitchen and a second bedroom. Perhaps even 3 bedrooms?
One step at a time, dear.
Open your eyes. Please, open your eyes.
Are they gone?
Yes. You fought them off.
Oh, good. Dying for nothing would have been embarrassing.
You're not going to die. I won't allow it.
That's ambitious of you.
I can mend more than a scraped knee. You'll see. Just don't move.
That feels better.
I told you. You're still bleeding. Just a little more. I can save you. I will save you.
Take care of the children. For me. Promise.
We'll take care of them together.
Promise me.
I will, I promise. But keep your eyes open.
I wish I could.
Bravura!
You've made these years so wonderful.
Bravura! Bravura!
Your wife signed a contract, Gilon. She did not complete it.
But she died.
And now the crystals she was to procure for me have been acquired by my rival.
I've lost the mother of my children.
Your failings are not my problem.
We don't have enough money to pay you back.
Then we will sell your house.
We can't do that. Master, please. My children
may purchase their own dwelling with their own money.
Neri's only just turned 8, and Mills...
You would offer an alternative?
What can I offer you?
I understand you have some aptitude for magic. You will serve me.
My children
will remain in your home so long as you do not violate our contract.
But who will raise them? When will I see them?
You will see them when I don't need you. Or would you rather see them in the street?
No, of course not. Thank you, Master Drenham. I will serve you.
You sign your contract today.
Were you able to recover my memories? It's important they understand. No, thank you. You've recovered everything I need to explain. I'm not sure my heart can endure any more of this. It feels like losing her all over again. Please, could you do this old man one last favor? Naria works... Please, find my children. I think I need to go lay down. It's been a taxing day already.
Oh, you've returned to bother me again. I have nothing to say to that man. What is it about I don't want to talk about my father that you can't understand? I don't want his money any more than I want his apologies. Does that man really think he can buy me off after ignoring me my entire life? Leave me alone. If father needs someone to listen to his excuses, ask Neria to do it. Or perhaps you should stop butting into our personal affairs. Have you considered that? I have nothing else to say.
So much to do.
Drink to something.
Back again? Father hasn't been an undue burden to you, I hope. My mother? Father rarely mentions her. I can tell how painful it is for him to recall her, even after all these years. I was young when she passed, but my memories are pleasant. Did he say what this is about? What did he have you doing? How odd. Father always was dabbling in magic.
Often it seemed like he had time for little else, though I know he did it to take care of us. Still, I'd better check up on him. I imagine Mills wants nothing to do with this. I'll ensure he joins us.
To rest. He did not wish to be disturbed until you arrived.
Let's go, Mills. He's still your father.
He has an odd way of showing it.
Mills has come to visit. Father? Father! Oh, Father. I suppose you were with
Couldn't
Mother
resist
at last.
disappointing me one last time. Good riddance.
If only I'd come sooner. Thank you. We all knew this was coming. That doesn't make it any easier to bear. My father was a good man, even if Mills never got to see it. Why was he so almost afraid to do so? What couldn't he just say to us all this time? Still, these were his last wishes. Thank you for making that possible.
What? A ghost?
Naria. Mills. I so regret not being there as you grew up. What I could never tell you is why my life was not my own.
Shh, Mills. I think this is a memory.
Soon, I'll be able to share the truth with you. To share everything with you. Thanks to the efforts of this kind traveler, I have archived my memories on this stone. I hope one day you will find it in your hearts to forgive me, and find the father and mother you never had. Here, I love you. I have always loved you. You've both made me so proud.
Father.
Why? Why couldn't you just fade away like you always do? Why couldn't you just let me forget you?
Because it's not just about him, Mills, or you. It's about all of us. Our family, together at last. It must have been so hard on Father to have to leave us so often. To keep silent while we grew cold and distant, even when he was here. It might seem odd, but I feel hopeful. Father and Mother are finally with us. Their memories will live on.
I thought I knew my father. I always thought he hated me. That's why he was never around. I came to terms with that long ago. I had a father, and I hated him. Now he's gone. How am I supposed to face what's in that stone, knowing I was wrong?
You look like the traveling sort. In your excursions, have you perchance come upon a young dark elf named Vea? She went missing a couple of weeks ago and her father desperately seeks any information regarding her whereabouts. That's a shame. Her father, Eris, the house counselor here in Balmora, promises that anyone who can find his daughter and return her safely to his side will be well rewarded. You should speak to Counselor Eris. He's opened the kin house to interview potential recruits. Freelancers, as it were. If you're interested, go speak to the Counselor. The longer Vea remains missing, the more distressed Counselor Eris becomes. Counselor Eris can be found at the Redguard kin house, and do hurry. He's ever so troubled by our failure to locate young Vea. If he finds... I have no issue with Counselor Eris seeking help. It's where he's decided to get that help that concerns me. House Redguard doesn't need outsiders to take care of its business. But who am I to question a House Counselor? How can anyone not know about House Redguard? Is this some sort of Outlander ruse? Well, in that case, Redguard is the grandest of the great Dunmer houses. We champion the virtues of duty and piety, and we have a proud military tradition. Our house comes first in all things. I don't understand why Eris seeks outside help. If I knew what happened to the Counselor's daughter, I wouldn't be talking to you now, would I? As far as we can tell, she left of her own accord. There wasn't any foul play involved that we're aware of. Beyond that, you'd have to ask the Counselor. Counselor Eris Relith oversees Redguard operations in Balmora and the surrounding countryside. He's very influential, very powerful. Usually, the Counselor doesn't allow his passions to get the better of him. But Vea is his daughter, after all.
Can I help you?
Welcome to Balmora, Outlander. House Redguard governs this town and asks all citizens and visitors alike to abide by its laws and regulations. We brook no trouble, especially from those who espouse different beliefs and traditions. Important? I suppose that depends upon who you ask. My husband thinks so. I'm the treasurer here in Balmora. My job requires that I record all important transactions regarding Redguard finances and balance everything to the last gold piece. Counselor Eris, who oversees Redguard operations in the Balmora region. Our family is one of the most respected in the house. I'm surprised you haven't heard of us, wherever it is you come from. Now, if you don't mind, I have a lot of work to do. You must be one of the freelancers my husband sent for. You really should speak with him if you're here about our daughter. Now, if...
Yes? Is there something I can do for you, Outlander? My daughter has been gone too long, and the house guard can't seem to find a wall in the corner. But why should I trust you with this task? Tell me, Outlander, how can you succeed when my forces continue to fail time and time again? An interesting insight. Perhaps you can find my daughter. Vea can handle herself, but the father worries, you understand? Anyway, I agree with your assessment. That's why I'm willing to bring in outside help on this. Vea fled after a family disagreement. She's run away before, but I'm concerned that she might have something more permanent in mind this time, and more dangerous. Vea knows how to evade the House Guard, but as you said, she doesn't know you. Captain Briven oversees the House's attempt to locate my daughter. You should speak to him and see what his investigation has already turned up. He's probably patrolling the town square at this time of day. Briven's soldiers have been trying to get information out of Vea's friends. But those young men and women are almost as good at avoiding the House Guard as my daughter. That is a private matter. If your investigation proves fruitful, and such matters become relevant, we can discuss the particulars then, but not before. Like my daughter, my wife has a mind of her own. What the two of you discuss is your own affair. Just understand that I haven't employed you to solve my family's problems. I only need you to find my daughter. Vea has always been fascinated by the Morag Tong. Even admired one of their agents when she was growing up. It's possible she sought refuge with this agent, or even decided to join the organization. Though I hope I'm wrong about that. The Morag Tong? They're an ancient guild of assassins sanctioned by the tribunal to carry out honorable writs of execution. Ostensibly, they're supposed to keep the houses from resorting to all-out war. But I still find the practice barbaric. Someone of no consequence, and not at all important to accomplishing your mission. Besides, you don't find Morag Tong agents, they find you. Just pray it's not because your name wound up on one of their writs. That is a death sentence. He's probably patrolling the town square at this time of day. Briven's soldiers have been trying to get information out of Vea's friends. But those young men and women are almost as good at avoiding the House Guard as my daughter. That is a private matter. If your investigation proves fruitful, and such matters become relevant, we can discuss the particulars then, but not before. Like my daughter, my wife has a mind.
The Councillor has his priorities all out of sorts. The real threat lies to the south. House Halalu encroaching on ancestral Redoran lands. Building settlements even. I saw this coming ever since we let Fort Firemoth go fallow. Let your guard down even a little and those Halalu scribs will snatch away all they can.
Not now, Outlander. If you need some sort of assistance, go find one of the House Guard. You must be one of the freelancers the Councillor employed to supplement the duties of the House Guard. Very well. I'll tell you what I know. Vea ran away. Again. I hope you can succeed when my troops have failed. If anything happens to Vea... I've known the Relith family since I was a child. Vea is like a sister to me, and I'll do everything in my power to get her home safe and sound. Even trust an Outlander. We think her friends may know where she is, but they keep eluding us. Perhaps. As long as you don't get too close. They've been running notes of late. I think it has something to do with Veya, but the runners keep evading my guards. Look for a group meeting on the other side of town, and see if you can follow the note. When you find Veya's friends, remember to keep your distance. You just want to spot the note carrier and follow him to whoever's receiving these messages. That's the key to locating Veya. If you can't do it, don't worry. The house can handle it. Veya's a born warrior. Hard-headed, stubborn, a real pain in the ass. She can fight like an angry netch, though. I keep trying to get her to join the militia, and she always turns me down. That's not my tale to tell. If Councillor Eris or his wife won't speak of the troubles his family has had to deal with in recent weeks, maybe you can ask Veya, if and when you find her. We started to notice groups of young dark elves gathering in out-of-the-way parts of the city. One of my guards saw them pass a note between them, but they split up and she lost them in the back alleys. Could be a love poem or a recipe for Kwama cream cocktail. But we suspect it's the way Veya has been keeping tabs on what's been happening in the city. Look, it may amount to nothing, but the note could give us a lead on where to find Veya.
Get this letter to Trevis. It's important. Just don't let House Redoran get their hands on it. If you think you're being followed, find a place to hide. Good luck.
Stay away from me, I'm warning you. You won't get this note.
I saw you head across the bridge toward Veya's friends. So, how did you fare, Outlander? Did you learn anything that might help us find the Councillor's daughter? Trevis? That laggard? I never understood what Veya saw in him. I suggest you go back and try again. Just do a better job of keeping your distance and don't lose sight of the note carrier. That's our best chance of learning anything.
Get yourself a drink. And one for me.
Get this letter to Trevis. It's important. Just don't let House Redoran get their hands on it. If you think you're being followed, find a place to hide. Good luck.
Stay away from me, I'm warning you. You won't get this note.
Could you spare some gold? A little food? Perhaps a fine pair of shoes? Food sates me and clothing protects me, but gold gives me a choice. Saint Veloth illustrated the value of choice when he differentiated the good Daedra from the bad. Blessings of the three upon you.
I saw you have...
Is this on straight?
Get this letter to Trevis. It's important. Just don't let House Weatherin get their hands on it. If you think you're being followed, find a place to hide. Good luck.
The fire's warm and the roof doesn't leak, so come on in and make yourself comfortable.
Well done. This should help us determine what happened to Veer's brother. Hello, can I help you? Wait a moment. You're one of those hirelings House Redguard pays to harass us simple folk. Look, all Veer wants to do is to find out what happened to her brother. Too bad the house doesn't seem to care a swit about any of that. Veer wants nothing to do with the house or her father. Why can't any of you respect that? Even if I wanted to help, I haven't seen Veer since she snuck out of town. We communicate by notes, and this one isn't even about her. If you must know, it concerns Veer's brother. He was an officer in the House Guard before he vanished without a trace. We've been trying to help Veer find him. A local tough. Goes by the name of Ashur. He delivers the letters. We usually meet him outside of town to the northeast. But good luck trying to get any information out of him. Ashur is not known for his conversational skills. I think we're done here, don't you? I told you where to find Ashur. He's been passing our notes on to Veya. Just to the north and east, outside of town. Or is this your way of offering to save me a trip, since you're headed his way? Balmora's not that big. Most of the sons and daughters of the house leaders and prominent merchants know each other. Veya's one of us, and we'll do whatever it takes to help her find her brother. Well, within reason. And Veya would do the same for us. That's why we're helping her. She really is a terrific person. I'm not telling you anything, you red-ridden lapdog.
Oh, hi there. Feeling left out? I'm sure I could procure a writ for each of you. That's it! Kill the Morag Tog and any witnesses!
I'll just take my leave. No use getting my...
I need healing!
Again. I had that situation under control. Just needed them to make the first hostile move. Still, I cleaned enough blood off my axes for one day, so thanks for lending a hand. You were you? Was it Melissa? I told her I'd close out my tab after I completed another contract. That woman has the patience of an anxious Nyx. Well, tell her I'm good for it. I'll stop by and we can conclude our business cordially. Veya? The new apprentice? Now why in oblivion do you care about Veya? Are you now? And why do you want to do that? Never mind, I don't really care. I was asked to pass along some notes, but I'm not really the messenger type. I suggest you talk to Vea's mentor. Last I heard, she had a job in the Western Ruins. Make sure you don't anger Vea's mentor, or even look at her the wrong way. She's grown surprisingly protective of that young woman, and if she thinks you pose a danger... Besides, I'd hate to see you wind up on the wrong end of one of our writs. You know, the usual buyer's remorse. I see a lot of that in my line of work. Turns out, I had to kill a bad man who did bad things. The writ was legal and above board. Unfortunately, his brother didn't see it that way and was looking for revenge. Oh, you make it sound so obscene. Still, that's pretty much an accurate description. But it's not like I work for the Dark Brotherhood or anything. I don't kill anyone without a sanctioned writ. Keeps the great houses in line. It's a calling. I'd rather not. She's particular about her secrets, and I don't want to get on a bad side. You should keep that in mind too, if you plan to continue on this course. Vea's mentor usually sticks to the rules, but I wouldn't turn my back on her.
well. What do you want?
Leave me, Outlander. Let me die in the shame I've brought to Malakath. Defeated by a lone warrior. Malakath will laugh at our incompetence. An assassin. Probably a Morag tongue. She tracked our leader here. But she doesn't know. We set a trap inside the ruins. Oh.
She's just one woman! Get inside the ruins and stop her!